Salsa.
Today's lesson at the Shiftee School of Scratch is medium. Spicy, with an average amount of heat. The medium scratch for the day, my salsa students, is the crab scratch. Now I know what you're thinking. I went to the beach when I was a little kid and I stepped on a crab and it was terrible. It's not the same crab. This is a scratch. And the idea of the scratch is it's sort of all in the fader movement. It's almost like a template for different record movements, and then you can dice it up and chop it up a little bit more with this crab scratch. So the way it works is it's an open fader scratch, which means that the fader starts on and ends on. So you start with the fader open, and it's going to end open, and what you do is with each finger, you hit the fader off and then on. But you do this in quick succession with each of the fingers. So on the crossfader, it looks like this. So you hear 4 little hits of the fader bouncing off and on. When it bounces off and on, that's actually called a click. And so when we do this, we're going to get 4 clicks. And it's going to end on. You're sort of using your thumb as a light springboard. And so when you go to tap, you sort of leave your thumb in place, and it kind of naturally bounces back the fader every time. And then when you're finished with your pointer finger, you just sort of let go, and you leave it back on. So what you can do, if you're just kind of no salsa. If you're just walking down the street, is you can try and snap all 4 fingers at the same time in succession, like this. This is the way it would look on the fader and also upside down. So you can walk around snapping, or you can walk around like this. So if you see someone on the street who's walking around like this, they're either a scratch DJ or they escaped from an insane asylum. Either way, you probably want to run away. So because this scratch is really based all on a fader movement, you can really do anything you want underneath with the record. So the most simple version of this would just be to do a crab on your forward stroke and a crab on your backward stroke, like this. Or if we release the record going back and forth, it would sound like this. But this isn't where it ends. You can really sort of add any motion to it and place the crab part of it anywhere. So you can even do like a chirp crab, where you close the fader on your forward stroke, but on the way back is where you get your crab click. So it would look like this. Or you could do chirp tear crabs, where on your reverse stroke you also do a tear. Or you could do crabs on top of tears back and forth. Two of my favorite variations are putting the crab scratch on sort of more complicated record movements. So one of these would be on the laser scratch. The laser scratch by itself is. And so what I like to do is start my crab on the reverse stroke of the laser, like this. The other version that I like a lot is on the record hand, letting the sound play, and then before you bring the sound back, do a little backwards baby, a little forwards baby, and then reverse. So the way this looks without the crab is. What I like to do is start my crab when I do the first reverse motion on my record hand. So I'm going to start it on that right when I start that part, and then I'm going to continue crabbing as I go forward and then backwards again, like I was doing. So the way this sounds is and faster.
Salsa.
One thing I got to add is that, you know, a lot of times you'll be in the club and the DJ will be up there and he'll be like, and you know, his fingers will be moving all fast and he'll feel real cool and people might be like, look at his fingers. But the true DJs look up and they see that, you know, he doesn't really have control over what he's doing. So as you're practicing this, really pick patterns that you have control over, so that every musical idea that you have in your head, that you mean to translate it to your hands, and you have control over that, because that's when you actually start to become a musician. So if all you can handle are the back and forth crabs, then that's, I would say, more valuable and more impressive to practice. So all right, so let's get into it. Let's get sorry. DJ Shiftee. Antonio Banderas. No, Antonio, I don't teach dancing anymore. Yes, I know. Take the Lead was a very special time in my life too, but I do not train dance. I only train DJs. So if you want to be in DJ Antonio Banderas, then come over here and learn at the Shiftee Salsa School of Scratch.
Salsa.
So that was today's medium lesson, crabs. Medium. Spicy with an average amount of heat.